Hello, everybody.
Yeah.
Do you want to do?
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry there, Rick. I thought my mic was muted for a second. I apologise. We're heading into map number 3 here. It's Vertigo in this best of 3 between Paloma and the side of Sangal. If you've just joined us, this is the decider. We saw both teams win their map picks. Paloma winning Inferno, and of course Sangal coming off the back of that map we just saw here on stream on Inferno. Safe to say that the Inferno was a little bit closer than the Mirage was, but nevertheless though, Sangal, they've come out storming into this round. That bomb's already down.
It is indeed. They have come out swinging. They didn't want to mess around, and I mean, that's not surprising. The way Sangal have been playing, and wait, Skunk was just tapping away on those. Paloma tried to step up, and they absolutely do so. They win out those duels. The USPS coming in handy.
And just like that, we should see the defuse come through. The defuse is going to come through, and it's going to be the side of Paloma who picks up round number 1 here on Vertigo. And it's interesting because we've seen sort of 2 really, contrasting maps so far, Rook. So I'm super keen to see how this Vertigo is going to really play out. To be totally honest with you, we saw Inferno. It was more of a one-sided affair with Paloma storming out on top, and then Sangal, they only just snuck over the line on Inferno, which is a map they're so good on. But Vertigo is a map that Sangal are very strong on as well. We mentioned the fact that they've won 7 out of their last 10 on here. It's a 70% win rate since the start of the season. So, if you was a betting man, you'd probably place the odds on Sangal, but it's Paloma who've got off to a good start.
Yes, indeed. They have those rifles. Casey takes a lick of damage, but still wins the round. Sorry, wins the fight. And takes away QB, takes away one of those rifles, and Sangal, their attempt to kind of take control on this map, it's not started off the best, at least here in this round.
It's not started off the best, but I mean, with the pistols, what are you expecting? Well, it was QB who had a pistol, if I'm correct, who fell in the gunfight. But either way though, Fizzy, Sulfite, and Corey all bought the rifles into this one, so it's an investment from Sangal to say the least. I think they spotted info on 1. SNX just going to clip the toes of a few Sangal players. Lena there though to find the shots onto Scrunk. Oh, SNX. Crosshair pushing it so good. Lack of awareness, superb. And although Corey is going to find the kill onto Limp, it is all up to Corey. They got the info as to where he is in the middle of the map. That should probably be a save on the Gallo coming through to this one. And it's going to be a 2-0 start here for the side of Paloma.
Is indeed. ISO's just holding the angle. Knows they probably dropped down here. Easy frag. And yeah, I mean, Paloma starting off strong, not dropping too many rifles, denying away the force up here from Sangal. And that eco for Sangal, not looking good at all. They're going to have to save up here. Probably lead to Paloma being on 3. And then finally, they can put up a proper offense here. Now, I think a big part of it is Sangal, they need to be able to contest a lot of these angles towards mid. And they weren't really able to do so. They didn't have the util to do so. They tried to push out towards site and instantly got clipped. It was unfortunate they lost a couple of players as they tried to do so. And the angles and the kind of defense hold from Paloma just looked really solid.
Well, how solid will the defense stay, though, for the side of Paloma? And I'm just thinking back to the start on Inferno. It was anything but solid to start their CT side back on map number 2, but Vertigo and Inferno, probably the 2 least similar maps you could probably put into the picture. But either way, it is going to be the anti-eco of Sangal to start things off strong here. You see Scrunk pick up Olymp. Lena though holding the angles over towards Scaff. Does spot a minute gap in the smoke, and it costs Fizzy his life. Scrunk though, still over towards mid.
A couple of players waiting here for the push to come through. ISO knowing that it's likely the guys are going to push on through here. Sangal have a soft spot for this one. We've seen in other maps, and we've seen, in other games, and we've seen they've already tried to push it a couple of times so far here in these 2 rounds. Good spray, backs away, doesn't need to commit towards this. ISO knowing the strength of their position, knowing that they have that rifle, that dropping it would be very detrimental. Sprunk, the only one with that rifle, is going to want to head up the pressure here for Sangal Esports. 20 seconds on the clock. They don't have a lot to work with. We need to go now or not at all?
Well, I think they are just trying to edge their way in towards CT and see if they can get behind the line of sight and maybe pick off an extra rifle or two, but ISO lying in wait. They're going to probably triple swing, but it doesn't matter because the triple spray down from ISO is there. He's backed up by Casey, who finds one. That's the third on the board from the side of Paloma. And a nice composed start here so far for the CTs. The squad from Poland, they didn't get off the best of starts in game number 2, but it looks like they've rekindled that form that we saw on Mirage. Looking really comfortable here on Vertigo so far. And Sangal, they're yet to really, other than the first initial pistol round that he just flew onto the site, really breached the defensive lines here of Paloma at all.
Here they are. Yeah, flashing. Tried to go for something aggressive. SNX still finds the shot through the smoke there. They get some decent damage. Casey again in this position. They've dealt with it before. Unsuccessfully have Sangal Esports, but once that molly dissipates, are they going to try and contest it again? Skrunk goes for it. And he's already head off.
I like the patience from Casey though over towards this B site. I think he's got an inkling that Skrunk and QB are going to be over towards these set of stairs. He's just going to hang out towards the back of site. And for the side of Sangal, is this similar to what we're doing in Mirage, where they're almost giving Paloma a little bit too much respect here early on, Rook? And on a map like Vertigo, I don't think you can really do that.
Yeah, they've got all the utility as well to try and make these pushes happen, but a lot of these pushes just too much respect, too much kind of space being given up, and Paloma are very much able to leverage that to get some cheeky positions, cheeky little opportunities, and win out these duels as well. Good spray down there by Olymp, and Sangal just not ready for a lot of this pressure. Corey gets one, yes, but how do you even push on into this? I don't even know where Olymp is. Drop down into them. Spray down is good, so you take down Casey as well. Well, that's how you open it up. 1 versus 2 now. We'll be able to pick up the bomb here, but with 8 shots in their rifle and a player already closing in, might be easier said than done. Down to 7. Let's try and go for the plant. Player on the flank. Pushes in aggressively. SMX constantly making pushes in and gets the spray. Needs to reload. Changes over the rifle. But the shot is there from Corey! And that's an ace!
Oh my, Corey! What a way to put round number 1 on the board for Sangal! I thought the York was going to win that every day of the week, but even then though, for the side of Paloma, you can't allow one player to just run at you and find a 3k like that, then follow it up with the 4th and the 5th. That's shocking from Paloma's side of things, but Corey, is that the confidence kicker that Sangal needed to get up and running here in the Vertigo? We saw sort of a similar affair on Mirage, if I'm right, where it was a little bit of a slow start, and then we saw the double AWP come into play, and I think it was actually Corey and Soulfire themselves who started to claw their team back into the game. But listen, when you've got a player running around like that, just clicking heads, finding more kills in one round than his whole team have collectively put together throughout the 4 we've seen so far, that's got to be the start of something good, right? Surely.
You would hope. You'd hope that you get some momentum off the back of that. But you look at that eco, couple Galils, Mac Can as well. They haven't got the best buy in the world, but with that AWP, at least they've got a power point. You look at the other side, and there's full rifles apart from Casey here. So a lot of util still available for Paloma, and they will get massive amounts of damage onto Soulfly. That nade doesn't quite finish them off. Sangal definitely on the back foot early on here. A little bit of utility used, sure, from Paloma. How are they going to leverage their own? That was the big question for me in these earlier couple of rounds, is they just didn't invest the utility effectively enough in order to force Paloma off these positions. So Paloma were just able to sit, spray, and, well, deny anything away from Sangal.
I mean, I'm just looking across the board, and yeah, okay, you've got the AWP in the hands of Fizzy, but other than that, it's almost like it's a force buy round from Sangal off the back of Corey finding a 1v5 ace, right? Because all these other teammates died. So Paloma aren't going to find the first pick this time, though. However, it's going to be Fizzy with that AWP to find one SNX. So good at playing these angles and find the kills, but Corey just a little bit better. Corey heating up as we speak. And it seems like Sangal, they finally turned the tables on its head, and they're slowly getting into this Vertigo game.
Indeed. Paloma practice to one more player. How is he going to make that retake happen? Yeah, Sangal, I mean, they just used that utility so much better this time around. The flashes and the smokes were so big in the way they forced Paloma off. And, I mean, even though Paloma had a decent number of rifles, they really weren't able to push on into anything. This is especially brutal as well. You look at that economy, you've got Casey and Olymp, both on 0. I mean, Lena is only up on 50, and ISO barely close by. This is going to be a lot of damage in terms of economically, and Sangal will be able to get that advantage, start to rack it up, and build up their own economy instead.
I mean, Vertigo's a map that just has so many twists and turns. It really is. I think with the way the bomb sites are laid out, there are so many routes onto different sites at one time that can make your life hard as a CT. But if you're a CT team who plays quite aggressively and establishes dominance over the map, and you gain control rather quickly, you can make the T side's life a little hard for themselves as well. So doesn't surprise me we're seeing a few rounds traded back and forth here. It's sort of what we sometimes see with the likes of Vertigo, and I think with two teams who are consistently a little inconsistent at closing series out like these two teams are, it's no real shock that we're seeing maps and rounds traded all over the place. But nevertheless, though, it is Sangal with the you could say upper hand in terms of firepower in this round. They have got the full buy across the board, and it's just the pistols in the hands of Paloma. I say just the pistols. The Deagle is basically a portable AWP at this range. But Sangal, they should look good to tie the score at 3 apiece here.
Do indeed. Fizzy, up close and personal with an AWP of their own. Holding this one. Lena looking at this one, kind of going, how'd he go? Now, Peter 50 looked okay. Could have maybe found that, but the shots went wide, and, well, those rifles, they're more consistent at the end of the day. Casey tries to get a couple of 5-7 shots down range. As much as they are finding some damage, they're not finding those frags. As we say, evens things right back on up. Sangal looking very, very confident here. Finally, a buy-up again for Paloma. Can they contest effectively?
And I think, you know, for the side of Paloma, I see a little bit more aggression out of them. Now, I'm just thinking back to Mirage and sort of what we've seen from them thus far. They're best played when their tails are up and they're feeling right. And if they can channel that inner aggression where they're the ones that are forcing the upper hand in most rounds, regardless if they're on team, CT, or whatever it might be, that's where I think their strengths and their confidence lies. For a team like Sangal, I think they prefer this slower paced style of play, and when it's playing very, very well right now, as although Sangal open up for the first two, SNX is there to trade back into Sulfy, who falls unfortunately, and I do think Sangal are going to get onto B site pretty damn easily. There's probably no chance that the side of Paloma will try and retake it. They'll save off with the 3 rifles, and just like that, we're going to see Sangal put 4th on the board.
A lot of maneuvering around right now for Paloma to try and find a better position, trying to find a better vantage point to play from. Look at this. Look at how aggressive Corey and Scrunk, for that matter, are being around this angle. Gonna play together, gonna move together. They're gonna go right into SNX here.
It's gonna be ISO who's lying in wait. Corey falls, but Skrunk's there to trade. And I like the fact that they're going hunting here because they know they've got the eco to work. If they want to try and get these rifles out of the hands of these players, and it doesn't really matter if they fall because they're gonna buy the AKs back in pretty much standardly. And that's the 4th on the board, and well, that's 4 in a row for the side of Sangal. This has been fantastic so far as a response here from this Turkish side.
Has indeed. Looks good. And I mean, Sangal again showing that pressure, showing that control on a map that they look so comfortable on. I was a little bit worried, I'm not going to lie, when they were 3-0 down in the earlier part of this game. And Paloma looked so confident. And Sangal looked like they did not know how to play this map. Then, they got around off the back of an ace, to be fair. And they really started to turn things up. They turned the dial up. They found themselves comfortable. And it just looked so very, very different. In terms of how they played this map, and it shows why they're 7-3 on this map.
I mean, Sangal, they're a team that frustrate me, Rook, because we'll see them perform really, really well against a solid side like the likes of Paloma, and even beat teams that are sort of, you know, around the same sort of standard. You know, the likes of, we've seen them beat Heat, for example. I think they lost to get dropped into the lower bracket was K23, and I thought they put up not the best of showings, but a somewhat decent one against that. And I mean, but it's consistency, I think, and consistency is such key at any level of CS, but in particular this level of CS that we're playing at. That, you know, it's sort of what sort of stops you elevating yourself as a squad to the next level, really. And for Sangal, if they're a team that can find that consistency, well then they're going to be a team that could be quite hard to beat in the near future. But nevertheless, though, we do see 2 kills come by the way of Soulfly. It is going to be that A site, the site of choice here for the side of Sangal. In case he does find one, the rifle can't be recovered though. He's on 2 HP, but Olymp, he sneaks through. And in the 2 versus 1 now, sure he knows one player's close. He's super low, 30 HP. However, does Casey know that he's shifting round? He does, but the HP difference just slightly out of touch. But Paloma, that's just a reminder there to Sangal that hey, we're still around in this map. Don't get too confident. We can pull this back from anywhere. But unfortunately for them, it wasn't good enough as Sangal pick up the 5th.
No, indeed, Paloma. I mean, they got darn close. They showed that they could contest this a lot heavier than they have been in some of the prior rounds. But at the end of the day, as he said, Sangal find the frags. They look comfortable. It's exactly what we want from them. We want them to show that this is a map that they are absolutely here to rock on. And when they get a pick ban like this, they absolutely should be winning, right? Mirage and Inferno, both very good maps for them. Either way, you split up 1-1. But giving away Vertigo here because they have such a wide pool, Paloma were forced into it, and it was brutal. So it's really Paloma who need to show up and deliver here if they're going to pick this one up at all. Because otherwise, they're out. They're out of ESL Challenger League right now, at least for this season.
I mean, one thing I got to give credit where credit is due to Sangal is this pressure towards the bottom of ramp, right, on A. Like, they're putting so much pressure here towards under that it's forcing the side of Paloma to almost triple up at times on A side. But then again, the rotation from A to B is quite quick. But I feel like Sangal have got a lot of success in sending the presence over towards A and then shooting up towards those stairs on B side and getting control over B. But it is going to be Paloma who draw first blood here. It's Casey who finds the opening pick, and I think again he's one player that really needs to step up by the side of Paloma. We spoke about how well he's been performing. I think he dropped what, like 25 frags in the first map when they won, and went a little bit missing on Inferno. Soulfly edging his way around. It's going to be Corey though to find the first piece of engagement. Soulfly's there to find the frag as well, but Casey, well, what looked like a decent start from Paloma for a second. We thought that they could get themselves back into this, but instantaneously it's sort of find one if he gets the timing on the player towards CT though. Oh, I don't think the timing's come through. This is heartbreaking for Casey. They're playing ring around a rosy with each other basically at the back of towards this site. And I think it's just a little too late. Oh, that timing could not have gone any worse for Casey if you tried it to. Soulfly finds the kill. 6 up now for Sangal. And Sangal, they look like they've got a bit of a spring in their step.
Do indeed. And they use that to leap bounds over what Paloma have really been testing them with. Look at that economy going right back on down. I'm going to buy up too much here, maybe a couple of enhanced pistols. But yeah, Paloma, very little to play with, very little chance, at least in this round here. 5 rounds left in the half after this one, most likely going the way of Sangal, but very few chances for them to really contest in a meaningful way. And you look at that econ for Sangal, and they're absolutely rolling in it.
Yeah, the economy built up really nice here from Sangal, and I like the way that, again, they played this map so far on T-side. It's kept Paloma guessing a lot. Yes, they're down to just the Deagles right now, but Soulfly don't want to catch too many of those Deagles. Bullets to the chest, my friend. You won't be around to tell the tale. The boost, though, comes up from Fizzy. Smoke is going to be for allowing Casey to just have a bit more wiggle room over towards that site, and I don't think they're going to expect Casey to cross into this close corner here.
This could be genius. Definitely could get the drop on them. They do back away. Might not get caught by that, but still could go for the flank. It might be unexpected.
I think they know that the side of Paloma on the Eagles, so I think they're just trying to buy their time before exploding onto site a little bit, but I think what they got to be wary about though is Paloma look like they're going to be gambling over towards B site, and for them, I think it's worked out perfectly because it looks like they could head towards A. But again, though, oh no, sorry, they're not heading towards A. They're heading over towards that B site, aren't they? Of course they are. They're up towards the stairs for the side of Sangal. This could go horribly wrong here from the side of Sangal. They do double check the corner though. Smart awareness. But Olim's there. He's trying to run and find the gun in the smoke. He doesn't find the gun because he finds one more and he gets out with his life again. And just like that, Paloma, from out of nowhere, looks like they could steal around the way, but no. They do get off site with the AKs. The bomb should go down. Skrunk's traded. The bomb does go down. He's going to hold his nerve to find the 7th on the board for Sangal, but Paloma, well, they were knocking at the door there for Sangal, but luckily for them, it was still a latch.
It was indeed. Very worrying for Sangal that got quite as close as it did, but they did still look it up. They did still perform well in face of what was some fantastic plays around the smoke from Olymp and the gang. But now it's going to be his rifles back in hand. Paloma gets some good eco damage, but obviously not enough. Sangal having won so many rounds on the trot, I mean, their economy is, frankly, a bumper crop. Forward, nade as well, twice in space, twice in time, does good damage. The molly will really keep them at bay alongside those downwell bullets, keeping Soulfly back in the ground.
Yeah, I mean, for the side of Paloma, they've not got a lot of util to work with to keep the side of Sangal off sight, but one thing they've got to work with is the rifle, and the rifle of ISO working just like that to find the kill on to Soulfly. So numbers advantage here for what feels like the first time in forever for the side of Paloma. It's going to be equaled up, though, instantaneously by Fizzy. It's going to be ISO himself who falls, and are they just making those mistakes and errors that could see them bow out here of the ESL Challenge League? But as I say, that lane is going to find one of the next trades as well, so numbers heavily in favour of the CT side, and Casey, he should shift up here, and there's no way Corey here. He does. He falls, transfers onto their city, drops, 4th up now for the side of Paloma.
They're good. First round in a while in literally 7 rounds. Paloma getting a much needed win, but that buy up is still coming from Sangal. They still have the cash. They're definitely able to contest. Any rounds though, perfectly fine for Paloma. I'll be willing to take that one all the way to the bank, but it's going to be difficult for them to really contest this one like they wanted to, because I just feel like a lot of these situations, especially with the flashes, now Sangal are a little bit more used to it. They're going to force SNX away this time. No nades, no mollies, no nothing. ISO not getting contested. Sangal rising up onto a lot of this. I like the variation where they push Olymp out so aggressively. That's very nice from Paloma here, and might rectify some of the problems they would have otherwise had.
Sangal looking to... they have so far, but ISO extending his magazine into the head of Soulfly apparently as he's going to fall, so numbers advantage again here for the 2nd consecutive round in favour of the side of Paloma. And for Sangal, are they just starting to run out of ideas here, Rook? Has the formula been solved?
May well have been. I thought that Paloma were really going to struggle with the way that Sangal have been moving, the way they've been adapting, but as you say, Paloma might have figured it out, might have realised what the problem was. And now with QB left, with that econ not looking so hot, well, Sangal not going to be able to buy up in the next round. Paloma likely moving to 5, unless we see some heroics again, but this time QB not able to do what Corey's been doing in the rounds prior. As a result, Paloma move on up.
Well, moving on up in the world and trying to move on the way up in the standings of ESL Challenger League, to say the least. Again, this is an elimination game. Losers bracket, of course, or lower bracket, should I say. So far, Sangal have had to overcome the likes of Heat to get here, and for Paloma, they now face Sangal, and well, it has been quite an entertaining and a thoroughly enjoyable game to watch and cast alongside yourself thus far. It's been, you know, as much as us casters love storming 2-0, 16-0 games to get us to bed early, we do like to see a close and nail-biting affair to make it interesting for the viewers at home. But Lena, he's getting toasted at the moment. Get the marshmallows out, he's getting cozy in the corner over towards Sandbags. But Lena does manage to find one, but not before Soulfly and QB can answer back for 2 of their own. So 3 players apiece here, and that aggression over towards that A site is still very much here from Sangal.
ISO wasn't able to contribute into that fight quite like they wanted to, with a backup from Olymp, and they're able to hold this position for now. And you can see already the rotates. You can see Sangal potentially looking to change up exactly what their plan is. But I think they might commit towards this, giving it a little bit of time, letting the seeds of doubt sow into Paloma's heads. Maybe beta rotate. They have numbers advantage on the site, so why not go for it?
I like the patience from Paloma though. They've left this solo play of Casey over towards B every time, and it's not worked. But now it seems to have paid off. I think it's going to be a limp. Finds the first. Fizzy though there to trade back out, but ISO so low, snaps onto the player as well. It's going to be Casey there to trade. 6 comes up now for Paloma. Sangal, is it starting to get squeaky bum time?
It is indeed. Sangal not getting as many rounds as they'd quite like in this situation, but they are going to be able to save up for that final round in a couple. Sorry, at least the very final round of this half. They aren't much. They're going to pick up those deagles, pick up Tech 9. I mean, we saw what pistols can do. Paloma certainly showed us that in some prior rounds. Didn't quite convert it, but darn well close. Yorp, however, denied Tori from even having a chance. And at these slightly longer ranges, Lena again delivers, but finally falls. Opening, if not a huge one, it's a small opportunity. As now they have that AWP in hand. Let's see what Soulfly can do with it.
I think he'll probably save it through, right? I think it's a bit of a tough spot to try and find their way onto the site unless the likes of Paloma just sprint their way out. But no, it does look like they are going to try and get their way over towards this B site. I think Soulfly's probably going to use these players in front of him as a little bit of a bait, but as I say, that Skrunk's going to fall. Just with QB left alive, the problem Soulfly has is that he's scoped in, right? Is he going to throw the AWP off the map? Surely he does it. He keeps hold of it. He's going to try and find the boost up to get the info on towards the site. Problem is, though, Casey's there and knows exactly what he wants to do. That's going to be the bomb drops as well. So for QB, he's just going to try and pick off a few exit frags if he can. He can't even do that. Casey's going to find the kill. 7 rounds apiece. We head into the final round of the half at a very, I don't want to say unpredictable score line, but one that we didn't think would happen after the first 3 rounds.
No, I mean, after the first 3 rounds, it looked like Paloma were going to dominate. And then from there on out, it certainly looked like Sangal. But right tipping on back. The scales never going too far. Paloma looks very comfortable here. And again, when they're on the offense, they look very, very good on most maps. So this team definitely can deliver. Could easily pick this one up. And I thought this was going to be cut and dry. I thought this was going to be Sangal Esports sailing away with the win. But unfortunately for Paloma... Sorry, fortunately, apologies, for Paloma. They're looking hot as heck.
Just looking across the board, across the utility, it's not really the best for either team, to be totally honest. So small minor details could be the thing that either wins you or loses you the round. It's like Sangal so far though, just establishing some control over to where they want to head towards. It looks like it is going to be the middle of the map. However, there is one player lying in wait, and that's going to be Olymp. 4 in hand. He's got ISO there for backup. Flash comes through. Flash popped. Beautiful from ISO. However, the trade's not there. Olymp though does eventually find the refrag. Oh, it's trying to swing at the right time. You don't need to, because unfortunately for Fizzy, he's going to drop to the hands of Skrunk. Skrunk though does take down in the process, and all of a sudden it's up to QB. This should be an 8 from the board for the side of Paloma. They're going to go to their T side, potentially here, with a minor lead.
Yeah, minor lead here for Paloma. Honestly, shout out to ISO. Not being flushed out of that position, holding well, swinging out wide, getting a frag, and setting up for that little bit more was absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, we are going to take a short break. When we come back, we'll be into that second half of Vertigo, and we'll see whether it's going to be Sangal or Paloma who go through to Lewis's round number 3.
Turning gears in this blood. I'm still not enough. Even your parents know I'm good for you, but I'm still not enough. You wanna be done with him, you're stuck with him, cause you don't have the guts. And after all I've done, I'm still not enough. Still at your place, trying to make it okay. He's miles away, I'm left here reusing that you just need someone caring for you. When will you see me more than you're asking?
The bar raising, we keep moving it up. Ain't no surprises here, they knew it was us. Apologies if I was doing too much, but I always came through in the clutch. I got faith restored, why you pushing the brakes? I ain't full of myself, boy, I'm full of mistakes. I came from humble and roots, I'm here to stand and deliver. Had no one gassing me up, except the man in the mirror. I used to work on my handles, and now it's handles of liquor. I write these songs in a dark room, the candle will flicker. I stay practicing heavy, for when the game's on the line. It's like over and over, I run the plays in my mind. I'm a psycho, I'm taking my time. Rushing perfection is a dangerous crime. You gotta give it and take it. That's what you do till you make it. I had to roll with the punches and take the hits from the flagrants. I'm saying the bar raising, we keep moving it up. And no surprises here, they knew it was us. Apologies if I was doing too much, but I always came through in the clutch. An off game don't mean I'm losing my touch. And no excuses, I ain't using a crutch. Apologies if I was doing too much, but I always came through in the clutch. I was falling, had me stalling. I was way down, now I'm balling. I done came up, and I called it. I done came in the clutch with the game on the line, I know. I operate from a higher place. Wait, some decisions don't try a race. I'm doing what I can to fuel the flame like a fireplace. To make a bunch of money, buy my mama a fireplace. We make incredible songs to celebrate and get mad lit. Once upon a time in Hollywood, I'm like Brad Pitt. My homies say I live a life, yeah, just a tad bit. Learning how to move in this rap shit. I told them that. The bar raising, we keep moving it up. And no surprises here, they knew it was us. Apologies if I was doing too much, but I always came through in the clutch. An off game don't mean I'm losing my touch. And no excuses, I ain't using a crutch. Apologies if I was doing too much, but I always came through in the clutch.
Hello everybody and welcome back to the ESL Challenger League Europe Lower Round 2. This is the final half that we're likely to see here. Maybe we go overtime, but Sangal Esports versus PALOMA has been a nail-biter. 1-1 in terms of maps, 7-8 in terms of score on this one. With Sangal moving into the CT side. It's going to be interesting to see who picks this up. PALOMA have looked so strong on the T side, right, John?
Yeah, PALOMA looked really good on the T side, to be totally honest with you. Or not the T side, on the CT side, sorry. They didn't look good when they started, though. It took them a few rounds to come out the blocks and get things up and rolling. When they did that, they looked like they were in a decent amount of control. And well, speaking of control, it's safe to say Corey knows how to control headshots on the USP. He finds 3 instantaneously. And, well, the good start that we were speaking about PALOMA having doesn't look like it's going to happen. As although they do get the bomb down, it is going to be a 2v4 retake, so not the end of the world here for the side of PALOMA. They need to find a few kills, though. It is going to be Casey to find 2, but Corey's there to find what I think was an ace actually on the pistol round. So Corey can 1v5 and he can ace on a pistol round. Who would have thought it? They're pros for a reason, right?
Yeah, I mean, Corey has really been shown up with those multi-kills. Picking up poo. Does mean that they've only got 6 kills outside of those 2 rounds, I will say. But still, a very impressive performance and a big part of what kept Sangal in a dominant position for a lot of what was happening in the first half. Considering that they were 3-0 down, Corey shows up, gets that ace. It was a real game changer for this map, and maybe picking one up early means Sangal are about to go streaking.
Maybe they are going to go streaking indeed. And well, they did just that really, right? At the start of the round, I think they won the first 3, and from there it took a while for them to pick up a few more rounds. But we know Sangal can go streaking because they were 7-0 down on the hard and they bring it back. They started off fantastically well on Inferno and closed it out. So I think you can never count either of these squads out, to be honest with you, no matter what the score is. Casey though, towards B stairs, it is going to be the AK that comes out on top though, unfortunately for QB. Aggression over towards this B site now. Looks like it should be theirs for the taking, and they do get control over the site quite comfortably. Casey's going to push on his way out with the AK as well. Just down to the 2 remaining players here. 5 up for Paloma. Bomb down. This should be the 9th.
Ooh, responds well, but not well enough. Oh my god. Nearly couldn't even find anything. It was up to ISO to really deliver here, with Scrunk cleaning up. Sangal continue to keep themselves in it, 6 HP, but you can see Scrunk going back, forth, back, where they're coming from. Olin jumps around the corner and Max sprays him with a Max 10, finishing them out.
Oh, those Mac 10 jump shots at close range, man. They're something else, honestly. Something else. But either way, 9th up now for the side of Paloma. Utility across the board isn't the best, but no doubt a few drops will come through and we'll see some decent util usage out of both squads. But, well, not out of both squads, out of the squad of Paloma at least, because I just took a look and I realised Sangal, well, they're on the eco and they're very, very poor on the util front as well. Not a single grenade to work with. Couple pistols, that's it. But other than that, it looks like Paloma could put the 10th and double digits up here early doors.
It really does. I think Paloma picking up that force is so brutal. Sangal were really looking at here. They got that first round. Corey delivered a 5k, set them up perfectly. But Paloma come out swinging, bringing out those Mac 10s and other such weapons. And those Galils, they hit home. Paloma just setting up so much here. They're going to use that utility early, invest it or straight away and go, okay, you've got no money? Well, let's see you deal with this. A couple of D-goals in hand, but how are they going to make that impact happen? Get some good damage, but doesn't finish anyone off. Not enough to lead to a kill just yet.
Oh, this is the problem with playing against Eagles. You're just going to get spammed through smokes, right? And easily able to land shots, and oh my god, 1 by 1. Let the bodies hit the floor as Paloma. They have been wiped off of this map with the Eagles, but Limp is going to find 2, can't find the 3rd. Soulfly is there, and that's a big anti-eco round win for the side of Sangal.
That, I'm going to be simply honest with you, was not what I expected, right? Coming through with only those deagles, having 0, and I mean literally 0 utility for Sangal Esports. They just see the smoke and go, okay, fire through it. Just let it rip, boys. And they rip through Paloma, putting them with 3 players down, and from there, it's just a numbers game. They swarm them, the deagles in hand, and well, show us why nothing less than a 45 will do.
Now, Paloma, they're the ones that are down to a pretty poor buy. You've got the AK in the hand of SNX. You did have the AK in the hand of SNX. Scrunk, Soulfly going to combine for a few, 3 remaining players. ISO does recycle the AK into his hand. And well, for Sangal, it looked like they could be the ones to put up double digits before Paloma do. So, again, keeping things interesting here on Vertigo. You think it's going one way and it looks like it could steer ship in the other direction. For Paloma, they'll surely be kicking themselves here off the back of such a good map number 1. They look dominant, so close on map number 2. You couldn't force the overtime, and you cast your mind back, right? I think it was Scrunk, was it, who got the 4K in that 15-14 round to allow the side of Sangal to win the match, where he had no real right to. How costly could that be for the side of Paloma. ISO, though, is going to get on the side. Unfortunately, though, for Paloma, they do find a couple, but Lena surely probably just going to try and play for another pick or even the completion of the plant. That's just that. Scout in hand. Unfortunately, that's not going to be better than the AK of Soulflight. And Sangal, well, they hit double digits.
Do indeed. Great round for them. Thought maybe it could lead towards something, but Paloma just don't have the firepower to make it happen. Won't have much in the next either. You look at that eco, not a huge amount. Could maybe buy up a couple of pistols again, save that util for the next. Certainly could make it happen, but as you say, Sangal moving up to 10 points, to 10 rounds on the board. Again, this is a map that I was coming in. I was bigging up Sangal here. I think they're fantastic on this map. They've got a 7-3 scoreline over the past 10 games, and I just think I genuinely thought it was going to be a complete destruction of Paloma here, because they don't have the best record here. But Paloma show up. They show us again that they know what they're doing, regardless of map. Will it be enough to take down Sangal on home turf here?
I mean, well, if you've got Olymp shooting a Tech 9 like that, there's always a way. But Fizzy, unfortunately, for the side of one, comes back with 2 of his own, and from here out, it should be straightforward stuff as Corey's going to pick up laner. It's up to SNX and ISO. Tech 9s might even be kept into the next, and this is going to be the 11th on the board for the side of Sangal and Paloma. They've just not had any answers to Sangal. Sangal, so far, the defense has been superb, you could say. A few rounds from Paloma went back and forth, yes, but when asked of, Sangal have had the replies. And if you're Paloma here, Rook, what are you saying to yourself? You're going to go in with, what, a 2-round deficit now? I do think they may have the money to buy. I'm not 100% sure. I can't remember what the boss bonus was. But yeah, so you have got the money to buy into this round. What are you saying here? Into your next buy round, an important buy round at that. What's the game plan?
Game plan is use those flashes effectively, get those smokes down, take control of B, and then push up a little bit more. Take a little bit more control. Make sure you don't lose too many players going in, I think, is the other part of it, because they lost a lot. They didn't play well into those kind of fire lanes that we've seen towards either of these sites, and the sprays are the things that are really screwing them. We saw it in the round where the Deagles really let rip from Sangal. Paloma need to respect those smokes a lot more, because otherwise, they're just going to get holes put in, just as we saw before.
Busy AWP in hand. We've seen him play this angle so many times. A bit more of an aggressive one out towards Scap here. I'm not too sure if I like it from Fizzy. He does find the first though. SNX, is he aware of Soulfly by the sandbags? He is. I'm not too sure if he's going to creep his way out. He does as well. So for now, Sangal, they hold the first bit of aggression from Paloma at the first hurdle has been fallen.
Sitting back here, and with Scrunk falling is the first line of defense, really. You can see potentially looking for a flank. Those shots just won't land. Paloma find the openings they need. It's down to 2. Sangal have ceded control in a lot of places here. Nolan can hear a player moving. They've got so much info here. This is almost certainly going to be Paloma's.
It's going to be QB's fine 1. Oh, I'm not sure if they know Corey's going to be so close onto site, though. They have to go back for the bomb, and with 35 seconds left, oh, they're actually going to send a bomb. Oh, no, I thought he juked me then for a second, making the steps over towards B. I thought he was sending the bomb over towards B, but no, it is going to go back up that ramp. But Corey, are they going to expect Corey to be alive here?
I don't know. I mean, they've given a lot of time. They've given a lot of space over. Molly forces them back over into a very good position. Shots try to go down range, but ISO just lands it onto Corey. QB with only 19 HP left to them. I think this retreat is a sensible decision.
12 isn't going to go up for Sangal, but the 10th does for Paloma. So both teams hit double digits now, and again, this close quarter affair continues still to be really, really interchangeable back and forth every single round. It's almost like heavyweight boxing, right? 2 heavyweights trading blow for blow to see who can just land the killer punch at the end. So I think we've still got a few more haymakers up our sleeves or two to say the least, from either of these sides.
Yeah,
There's that
absolutely.
bomb.
I mean, especially with Sangal still having all that money left, there's a lot of opportunities available to him.
Yeah, I think Sangal can sort of afford to lose maybe 1 or 2 rounds here, whereas the side of Paloma, your loss bonus is at 1900. It's you lose this, you're going to probably be forced to eco into the next, or if my mental maths is correct, you can probably afford 3 or 4 rifles, but nevertheless, not ones that are not the best of economy standpoint, to say the least. So Sangal, you've got to say they do hold the better hand at the moment.
Molly goes up. Casey trying to really flush these players out. There's Molly's go back in, buy them some time. Sangal reposition QB on the map. Ready and waiting for someone to try and push on in here.
Scrunk. The patience that Sangal have operated on as well, by the way, on the CT side has been great. They've not over-rotated too much. They've held strong quite a few times, but unfortunately, Kirby bit off a little bit more than he could chew. That's going to be Casey to find the kill. Numbers advantage here in favour of Paloma.
Paloma finding those frags they so desperately needed. The AWP in the hands of Lena yet again delivers. There's this play around that B side that was kind of brutal. You'd be not expecting that one at all, and you can see now that Sangal spread quite thin. Sure, Fizzy can kind of deliver here, maybe find a frag, find maybe 2, but even then, they're going to get swarmed. Paloma are just going to play the split, play those different angles. Don't even have to do that. Moving towards that A side now.
Soulfly, though, lying in wait, patient as ever from the side of Sangal. Smoke's about to go down. Soulfly left alive. Does he find one? He does. He tags the head of Lena, actually. Doesn't commit and find the kill, though, unfortunately. Spray through the smoke isn't going to be to any avail. The bomb did go down. And in the 3 versus 5, I think you just got to save here from Sangal, and that's exactly what they do. So, unfortunately for Sangal, they are going to have to give up the 11th round, but luckily for them, they can hold on to 2 rifles and an AWP.
Yeah, not too bad. I mean, their economy is a little shot, that I won't deny. And they won't be able to buy too much up on QB and Skrunk, I believe. I think they might have MP7, maybe, some armor, something along those lines alongside that utility, but they've made do with that before. They certainly can deliver, but Paloma striking right back, bringing it to 11. Will they be able to kind of push on in here? And, you know, Paloma, they've been making great aggression. They've been using those smokes so effectively, like we saw in map 1, to harken back to that. How is Sangal going to deal with this, John?
It's tough. I mean, I think Sangal, they're really relying on the likes of someone like Corey to make not a hero play, but you know, one of their players has to pick up like a 2 or a 3k in an important round for them to get over the line, is what it seems like. At least that's what I've noticed in terms of when they do win maps and win rounds. It's not like every player picks up a kill and it's a nice 5-stack team effort, right? It's really like one player has like 2 or 3 pop-off moments in one round. So for the side of Paloma, though, I think if they can keep, you know, buying into the nervousness that Sangal might start to be showing, it might play in their favour.
I do indeed. Mollies don't go quite where Paloma want them, but they still got time. Lots of time to work with. Still a decent amount of utility available to them. About 9 nades as opposed to 10 on the other side. Just makes that one. Starts to look for a chance to be aggressive. No one knows where those players are. Backs off, pulls away. But still wants to hold these angles. Wants to play those short ambush angles with this SMG. But wants to try and deliver. Has to back off, though. Those flashes are good from Paloma, but a lot of utility getting invested here.
Lots of investment indeed, and more for Paloma. The investment's been really to no avail, or is it? Fizzy's going to find the first. Well, not sorry, Fizzy's not find the first. Fizzy can't find the first. He gets picked up first. It's going to be Soulfly to trade. ISO there, those pick up his own as well. Paloma look to try and make this work. Skrunk, though, charges through the molly down to 40 on HP. Is going to be spotted by SNX. QB left alive in the 4v1. Surely the M4 gets taken through to the next round, and It is going to be just that. 12 goes up for Paloma. Sangal just starting to feel the pressure a little bit here.
Yeah, keep on getting caught off. The fact that that AWP is not seeing a lot of success. I think that's the third time Paloma have just swung the angle and shot the AWPer. I don't even know if there was a flash that time. They just swung the angle. Shows a lot of confidence, shows a lot of pace, shows a lot of aggression, and that's exactly what Paloma want to show us, right? That's when they've succeeded, when they've been decisive, when they've been aggressive. That's the kind of Paloma we know wins, and it's been this T side, I mean, that's just been so strong for them. They've been able to dictate the pace and really never let go.
Yeah, and that sort of links back to map number 1, right? Like, that's exactly what we saw on Mirage, and that's why they were so successful, and they ended up winning Mirage, but we didn't see that on Inferno,
Okay.
and that's why I think Sangal just got back into the game, but when Soulflash shooting like that, it's safe to say there's more ways of getting back into the game than just one. That laner, though, instantly gonna find the trade in the Corey can't pick up SNX. The nice tight angle hold there from Corey towards Scaff from the bottom of the ramp is gonna double his luck and give the numbers advantage back in favor of the side of Paloma.
Paloma now. Spreading it again. A lot of mollies. Trying to clear off those angles. Space Crunk is in position, but SNX denies as usual. A lot being stopped. Paloma ready for these angles, knows if it's pistols, you know what we got to do. Olymp just waiting in position. You can see that again and again. Paloma use Olymp to just cover these angles, to catch these players who are like, okay, I'm going to rotate in, find something cheeky, or find some help for my team. It just ain't happening. It's no dice, and with 13-11, I mean, they're looking super duper confident.
Yes, okay, cool. The side of Sangal can now buy into this, but you got to think, okay, they've got a 3.4k loss bonus, so they can buy in from here on out. But still, though, Sangal, it looks like they've just run out of steam, right? The fatigue's starting to set in. It's like they've used all the strats from the playbook already, and they're running on empty ideas at the moment. And unfortunately, it looks like Paloma are just being a little bit more creative here in the latter stages of these games than Sangal.
They're indeed. Soulfly. The rest of the gang, they're looking for a chance to kind of move together as one. Because right now, prior to this, they've just been picked off one by one. Trades out. SNX not able to get too much. Newbie plays passive. Doesn't want to commit towards this. Wants to play with their team. The flashes have just made it so darn hard. So many coming their way. Flashed, bamboozled, bombarded, everything happening all at once. Sangal 3 versus 4 now. Good nade goes in, good damage. But Fizzy cannot find anyone on the side here. Maybe tries to find that shot, but it just doesn't land. It's feeling so awkward for Sangal right now.
Yeah, and you've seen Fizzy miss a shot, so the save's going to be called. 14th up for Paloma, and, well, Fizzy, you can't be ego chowing that. You can't lose the AWP. That's such an expensive piece of weaponry that you've got in your arsenal. 14th goes up now for Paloma. And are we starting to see the coffin that could be holding the body of Sangal slowly start to be lowered?
It feels like it's a dire situation now for Sangal Esports. Map which, by right, should be theirs. They're so confident, so controlling, so powerful on this map. But Paloma have picked them apart at plentiful positions. And I mean, it's just been brutal to see that Paloma can find these angles to push on in, deny away these players, and the shots not hitting is only a small part of it. Sangal getting forced off, not managing to kind of invest players towards it, having to invest utility to let players escape consistently because they've been caught into strange positions. And when this AWP does not work out like you want to, it just looks like an overpriced stick that just does nothing for you. And we've been seeing Fizzy struggle to make it work.
Yeah, but Fizzy, though, we know that he can turn it on and make it work. You know, that's the problem I think Sangal are having. However, this late into the game, I don't know, if it's not working, you need to change something, right?
Yeah, certainly. I agree. I know we can see Fizzy deliver. We know we can see Fizzy perform. But this map, I know it's close, but it's been a lot of Sangal. We look at them and go, oh, that wasn't what we expected them. That wasn't the kind of frags we'd like to see. That wasn't the kind of situations that we expect of Sangal. And Paloma just keep pipping them at the post every time.
Paloma seem to be picking them apart. And the economy is so strong from Paloma. They can afford to lose 1, maybe 2 rounds if they felt necessary, just to get the final call right to put themselves onto map point. But I think if you're Sangal, I think you know that you've not got a lot of wiggle room left, to be totally honest with you. If you lose this round, Paloma go on to map point, they're looking confident. I think you probably say GG from there, but what are you saying to yourself if you're Sangal right now in this timeout? How are you trying to rally the troops?
With great difficulty. I think it's the simple answer. You need to be able to kind of look to some of these players to really show up. And look, Corey's been great. They've got 2 aces in this game, but even that doesn't seem to be enough. Before, it was a rallying cry, a rallying call for Sangal to land round after round. But now it feels like it would have to be a late round table to open things up massively. But Casey is the one being dynamic, being aggressive, setting up those plays, good nades. But they're still able to take a lot of control here, and with Lena setting up those mollies as well, that B site very much in a position where they would have to take control, and Sangal Esports, naturally, these question marks, they have to respond to it. The Scrunk is in position, gets a good spray, almost finds a second, can Soulfly deliver here, turns it into 2, they turn it into 3, and they make that 5, and indeed, that's what Sangal need!
Yeah, great stuff though from the side of Sangal. Paloma a little bit too overzealous and confident there. Sangal, that's just a reminder to Paloma that they're still very much in this map. So, finally, we're starting to see that money dwindle up for the side of Sangal. The only problem is, though, they've not got a lot of rooms to work with in terms of losing rounds. So we will have to wait and see how this one plays out. And again, though, this whole play from Sangal, it's like, where is that earlier on in the map, right? Like, can you imagine that's like they start the half as explosive as they just did then? It would be such a one-sided game, it really would be. But this is a map that Sangal was so well drilled on. They love to play it. They've played it so many times. They've won it so many times. Can they do something to get themselves back into this map?
Denying away this ult from having too much impact. Lena has been fantastic on this map and fantastic on other maps. Score doesn't show well, but those frags have been super impactful. Sangal, down a player already, obviously have to work overtime in this round, especially with Paloma threatening to kind of close it out. I mean, there should be enough for a buy of sorts, even if, but easy said than done. Lay it down. The aggression comes through, but they don't quite finish off SNX. They don't quite, even in terms of players, just yet.
Paloma being patient over towards the bottom of a ramp. They have got the numbers to work with, so they know that they don't have to overshoot their shot to isolate a player and get a pick. Now they can get onto the site. Numbers advantage doubled for the side of Paloma.
And Strong handed them the keys to the castle there. Pushing out alone like that, look, if you have the information, that's great. But there are literally 3 to 4 players sitting there. You get absolutely destroyed, don't even trade 1 for 1. And it just looks strange to me that they even decided to commit towards that. Nade hits them. Not enough, really. The bomb goes down. And it's 2 versus 4. Sangal Esports, even with an AWP in hand. This retake is not going to be easy. If they go for it at all.
QB tries to open the picks. Finds one, instantly traded Fizzy. Has got to save the AWP. Map, match, series point for the side of Paloma. And what can Sangal do here, Rook? What buy can they scrape together in order to get themselves a lifeline to try and force overtime, if possible? On the flip side, Paloma just 1 round away.
Just 1 round away on a map that, by all rights, should have been Sangal's. The confidence, the control, the knowledge of this map. Normally, I'd absolutely put it in favor of Sangal, but it just has not been working for them. Paloma, New York, they just need 1 more round. And Sangal just looked like they're oftentimes going to hand it on a silver platter. A couple of missteps here and there, and against a strong team like this, you need to be consistent. Cubade going down like that again leaves this B site open, means a player has to rotate. Fizzy can't be there. Again, the position of Sangal on this A site weakens, and that's most of the time where Paloma are pushing. They're confident on it, they're consistent on it, they have the utility for it. What more could you ask for? But they again put players towards this B site like we've seen a couple of times before, and they get ready for the split.
And it's going to be now or never for the side of Sangal. Paloma, they want to try and execute onto this site and finish up the job here on Vertigo. It's going to be Olymp to find the first. Here comes the aggression. Casey needs to find the kill backside. Does. All of a sudden, Scrunk, Soulfly, tournament line of the ESL Challenger League Season 44 for Europe on the line here for the side of Sangal. It's all on Soulfly. We've seen him do crazy things. Can he make the dream live on? And unfortunately for the side of Sangal, Paloma are just too strong here on Vertigo, Rook.
Just too strong. Paloma come on through here, and I was worried. As soon as Sangal took map 2, I thought, Paloma, they're going to need to show up, and absolutely they did. Performances aplenty. Sangal not able to deliver on the promises, which I felt like they were really able to make earlier on. They looked confident, they looked strong, they showed 7 rounds of